Welcome back to Zengen Books and Films. Today, we're diving into a real teen comedy classic, Porky's. Now, whether you love it or hate it, this 1981 box office smash hit has left its mark on pop culture. Yeah, it got some punches from critics, but fans couldn't get enough. You probably think you know Porky's, from locker room pranks to that infamous shower scene. But today, I've got some cool facts you may not know about this cult classic. So let's dive into 10 things you never knew about Porky's. Fact number 1. Porky's director Bob Clark actually based the characters on his own life. Pee-wee, Billy, Tommy, those guys were inspired by people Clark knew during his teenage and college years. He said he related most to Pee-wee, which definitely gives the movie a personal touch. Can you imagine being one of his old school friends and seeing your antics on screen? Fact number 2. Here's something wild. Porky's almost got slapped with an X rating. The Motion Picture Association of America, MPAA, wasn't too thrilled with the original cut. So Clark had to trim down some of the more explicit scenes to get that crucial R rating, which opened the doors to a much bigger audience. Fact number 3. Speaking of the rating, Mark Harrier, who played Billy, spilled the beans on a deleted scene that might have really pushed the movie into X territory. In the original shower scene, they shot a version where the girl's reaction to Billy's, prank was even more exaggerated and, let's just say, way funnier. But to keep things R-rated, they had to cut that out. Too bad, because it would have been hilarious. Fact number 4. There's some confusion about when Porky's actually came out. 1981 or 1982? Well, it's both. The movie had a small, limited release in 1981 in cities like Colorado Springs, but it didn't hit theaters nationwide until March of 1982, which is when it really took off. Fact number 5. The critics hated it. Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, two of the biggest film critics at the time, tore it apart, calling it immature, offensive, and too crude. They especially had issues with how the film portrayed women and the over-the-top behavior of the boys. But guess what? Audiences disagreed. The movie stayed at the top of the box office for 8 straight weeks and even outperformed big names like Poltergeist and Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. It made over $100 million. Impressive considering its small $4 million budget. Fact number 6. In Ireland, Porky's was actually banned. The government initially blocked it from being shown in theaters, but just 19 days later, the ban was lifted. The crazy thing is, after all that controversy, Porky's went on to become the first film in Ireland to make over £1 million at the box office. Pretty wild, right? Fact number 7. Actress Kim Cattrall, who played the hilarious character Miss Honeywell, you know, the gym coach, took the role out of financial necessity. She needed to pay her rent. She was pretty shocked when she saw her name featured so prominently on the movie's poster. After Porky's, she had a tough time getting serious acting roles because of how her character was portrayed in the film. But don't worry, she went on to have a fantastic career, starring in Sex and the City and much more. Fact number 8. Now, here's a fun fact for you. To keep the rights to the original Porky's, a super low-budget movie called Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee was produced in 2009. It was shot for under $1 million just to prevent the rights from expiring. If you're curious, you can find it here on YouTube. It's definitely not a high-budget production, but it's a quirky part of Porky's history. Fact number 9. Did you know that even though Porky's was filmed in Florida, it's actually a Canadian movie? Yep. The production was financed by a Canadian company, and it was the highest-grossing Canadian film ever until 2010, when Resident Evil: Afterlife took that title. Fact number 10. And finally, for all you retro gamers out there, did you know there was actually a Porky's video game? It was released for the Atari 2600 back in 1983. In the game, you play as Pee-wee, trying to destroy Porky's bar. It's a bit of an old-school arcade game, with some Frogger-like action, and honestly, it doesn't look half bad. If you're into retro games, it's definitely worth checking out for some nostalgic fun. So, there you have it. 10 fun facts you probably didn't know about Porky's. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to Zengen Books and Films. We've got plenty more movie trivia, film reviews, and deep dives coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.